In 1983, Steve Jobs predicted the invention of ChatGPT at a design conference in Aspen.
The problem was you can't ask Aristotle a question. And I think as we look towards the next 50 to 100 years, if we really can come up with these machines that can capture an underlying spirit or an underlying set of principles or an underlying way of looking at the world, then when the next Aristotle comes around, maybe if he carries around one of these machines with him his whole life, his or her whole life, and types in all this stuff, then maybe someday after the person's dead and gone, we can ask this machine, hey, what would Aristotle have said? What about this? And maybe we won't get the right answer, but maybe we will. And that's really exciting to me. And that's one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. So what do you want to talk about?
A bold prediction about the future of technology. Today, that vision is becoming real. Steve Jobs described a world where we could talk to Aristotle if all his thoughts were typed into a computer. Sound familiar? That's exactly what large language models are doing right now. Back then, Steve Jobs was imagining a world where all human knowledge, thoughts, ideas, even personalities could be preserved digitally, and we'd interact with them through machines. Today, we're seeing that vision come to life with ChatGPT. But it's not just about answering questions. Think about in Westworld, where there were artificial people, robots and personalities, and with memories that seem human. But they weren't really alive, right? Or were they? And in iRobot, we saw AI beings questioning their own existence, wondering if they had souls. These movies aren't just science fiction anymore. What Steve Jobs hinted at was a future where we could preserve people, where a digital version of someone's mind could live on forever. The question is, where do we draw the line between AI and the living being? What if we could preserve our minds, our loved ones' minds, forever? Would that still be life or something else entirely? If I could talk to Steve today, I'd ask him, what do you think about how far we've come? What do you think about what happens next? Because with sentient AI, virtual beings, and digital consciousness, we're stepping into a future that's both exciting and frightening.